What's going on, y'all? I'm going to be debuting my trophy collection, which I currently have 45 platinum trophies. Going back to my very first one, Uncharted Golden Abyss. Actually on the PS Vita, the only Uncharted game that is on the Vita. It's actually a pretty good game. The story is pretty alright. There were some things that were pretty frustrating. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Specifically, the collectibles in this game. The way that the collectibles work in this game is that you have to kill enemies in certain areas of each level, and they will have a chance of dropping an item that has a specific rarity. You'll get pretty much all the common ones in your first playthrough, but for pretty much the rest of them, you'll just have to sit there and grind them constantly. And yeah, that was definitely, it's not hard, but it, just repetitive. Other than the crushing difficulty, there's a lot of what's it called? Action queue stuff. That was kind of annoying, but other than that, I didn't think it was too bad overall, but still a pretty good game. I'd recommend it. Alright, next up is Skyrim on the PS4. Didn't go for all the DLC. I may go eventually back and clean that up. It's not too bad. Skyrim trophies aren't too hard to get. But yeah, definitely a game I've probably spent the most time on in my entire life. I'm definitely a part of the problem when it comes to buying multiple versions of this game. But I mean, if you haven't played it and you like RPGs, of course I would recommend playing it. According to PlayStation, Skyrim on the PS4 took me 166 hours. Next is Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't do the DLC on this version. I'll talk about that later, but I mean, I loved this game when it came out. I don't think there's anything too annoying about its platinum. I think overall it's pretty straightforward, other than just, finding collectibles, clear out bases and all that. But absolutely love the game. Visually, it's amazing. If you haven't played it, this is a must-have in my opinion. According to PlayStation, Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4 took me 44 hours. Next is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered. I got this. I love the older Call of Duty games, and of course when this came out I had to get it. So I did end up paying I think it was $80 at the time to get Infinite Warfare and COD 4, which kind of sucked. Overall, the remastered version is actually pretty easy, even though I'm pretty sure it is the exact same trophies as the original. A few miscellaneous stuff, finding the intel, beat the game on veteran, and then of course, let's see, where's Mile High Club at? It's at the bottom here. Okay, I'm not sure where it's at, but Mile High Club is definitely the most infamous trophy for this game, but on the remastered version, there actually is an exploit, which I might have did, where you can play through the level on Recruit, and then you can like save and quit, and then hit dashboard, then close the game, and then, oh, here it is, Mile High Club. But you dashboard, and then you close the game, and then you relaunch the game, and then you can hit resume, and it'll let you pick the difficulty and change the difficulty, so you can basically get through the whole level, get to the last checkpoint, save and quit, and then resume it on veteran. So that's what I did. I did the original game back on the Xbox 360 and did that legit, but yeah, for this one I definitely did not. Kind of surprised it's still low, but I guess that's kind of like that for most Call of Duty games. Most people don't go for trophies on these games. According to PlayStation, COD 4 took me 60 hours, although some of that was a majority of that was with multiplayer. I'd say probably like, let's say at least 45 hours. Next is Bugsnax, my first PS5 Platinum. I did not do the DLC, I believe, when I did it at the time, so I think I got this right when it came out. This is free. I believe it was free on PS5 on its launch. This was the first PS Plus game, so I was like, yeah, it's free, I'll get it. It's a very weird game, but I enjoyed it. Nothing's really too hard about it, just gotta collect every bug and play through the game. I think there might be some collectibles. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, overall, not too hard. According to PlayStation, Bugsnax took me 11 hours. Next up is Spider-Man Miles Morales. I really enjoyed this game. The combat was pretty good. The stories was fine. Nothing I don't think was really difficult. Just, you just had to play through the game on New Game Plus again, so that, I won't say it was tedious, but just kind of beelining to the finish line, right? But overall, I would recommend if you haven't played it. I'd say if you haven't played it yet and you have a PS5, definitely get the version where you get the remastered version of Spider-Man and Miles Morales, so yeah, I'd recommend it. Spider-Man Miles Morales took me 14 hours. Next is Astro's Playroom. Usually this is most people's first platinum, but I guess I just held off on doing it. I didn't do the other DLC trophy, so I believe at the time I got the platinum, these weren't out yet. And I think later I just opened it back up and tried to get it, but I didn't put too much time into this one. I could easily go back and clean that up eventually, but overall, really amazing game. I hope they make a sequel to this. Don't know if they will, but still, great game. It's only like 3-4 hours, so if you, well, everyone has it, of course, but if you haven't played this, you should. It's an easy platinum, fun game. Visually, it's great. 100% recommend it. Astro's Playroom took me 3 hours. Up next is Godfall. This was... People were really hyped up about this game when it came out, and I unfortunately fell into the hype. This game was not good at all. This game I thought was just super boring. Nothing was really interesting about the enemies, and story I just didn't really care about. But I started it and I got a bunch of trophies, and I was like, well, I might as well just try to finish it. I didn't do the DLC, as you can see. And there's one infamous trophy. This one right here. Reach Trial 20 in the Ascended Tower Trials. This was actually patched, because when I got it, you had to get to Trial 50. And basically in that, you just go on this, you just go up floors and you just fight a bunch of bad guys. And you had to do that until you got to 450. See how the top left says Trial 50. But to get to that point, you had to grind like crazy to get a really good build to be able to do it. And there was one area in the game, I can't remember what it was called, but you had to, is an end game area where you could farm, loot and stuff. And the good thing about that area at the time was there was 4 bosses. When you beat a boss, they drop loot, and you fight the second one, and then, and so on till you get to the 4th one. If you had to use currency to do these areas, and I forget how the currency dropped, but you didn't have a ton of it. And the level or mission or whatever, you could kill 3 bosses, get the loot, and then you could just quit. But then you could resume the level again, and you wouldn't lose any of the currency, but you could restart the fight basically and start from the first boss to the 4th one. So you could just keep doing that and grinding loot. That way you didn't have to spend any of that currency to do that mission. Well, eventually they patched that, and you had to kill all 4 bosses in order to get loot. So they got rid of the best way to get loot in the game, which is already a grind in itself. I mean, you would do that for hours. You'd straight up just sit there for hours just grinding the loot, and that was super annoying. Don't know when they patched this, but really annoyed that they did, because I grinded that 50th trial. I remember I tried to play online, and it was just, I don't know if it was my internet at the time, but it was just so laggy. It was just unplayable for me, but do not recommend this game. Just, it's super cheap now, but I still wouldn't recommend you waste your time on it. According to PlayStation, Godfall took me 44 hours. Next is Spirit of the North. I actually heard this game is getting, I think a trailer came out recently for this, so I definitely might have to pick that up eventually, but I don't know what kind of genre this would be considered, like visual novel or something, but maybe not visual novel, but either way, just, good looking game. Just kind of wander around, get collectibles and stuff. Nothing crazy, but it didn't take me too long to complete this. I think I needed to use the guide for some collectibles. That was about it. If you play this game with the guide, you'll get it pretty easily. According to PlayStation, Spirit of the North took me 6 hours. Up next is Maneater. They advertised this as GTA Shark, basically. Didn't do the DLC. I think I got the platinum before this came out. But yeah, everything's pretty straightforward. You just level up, clear all the areas, find a few collectibles, and just kill a bunch of stuff. Being a shark. It's a really fun game, though. I had a great time with it. If you haven't played this, it's just a good game. You can just kind of turn your brain off and just kill a bunch of stuff. It's a lot of fun. According to PlayStation, Maneater took me 8 hours. Up next is Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. I know I didn't do any of the DLC except for the remastered trophies, which I think I got those pretty naturally. So I didn't even think I was like intentionally going for them. I think I just kind of got them anyways. Really enjoyed this game. Had a ton of fun with it. I would again easily recommend it if you do buy it on the PS. Do you have a PS5? Definitely buy the Miles Morales version that comes with this. Get 2 good games. Pretty for a pretty good price. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't think there's nothing really difficult about this. Pretty straightforward. According to PlayStation, Spider-Man took me 22 hours. Next is Immortals: Fenyx Rising. Didn't do the DLC. I think I got this before any of that came out. This is basically Ubisoft's attempt at Breath of the Wild, I believe. So people try like their crappy version of it. Typically not a fan of Ubisoft and their games, but I ended up trying this. The art style is probably the best they've ever done out of all their games. I actually really like the way this game looks. A lot of bloat in this game though, so that kind of stinks, but definitely nowhere near as like the bloat as like Valhalla has. I'm glad I never played that. You put like 200 hours to get that platinum, and majority that's bloat. But it kept my attention pretty much for most of the way through. Yeah, pretty much just do all the bloat, all the quests, and yeah, pretty straightforward I think for the most part. I didn't find anything super difficult. Just gotta put some decent amount of time into it. According to PlayStation, Immortals: Fenyx Rising took me 37 hours. Up next is Ratchet Clank Rift Apart. Really enjoyed this game. Gameplay was amazing. The weapons were all fun to use. Not super long, about like an 8 to 10 hour game, but I still really enjoyed it. Story wasn't that great, but at the end of the day, to me the gameplay is always what matters more for every single game. I don't care what the game is. Gameplay needs to be good. I could care less about anything else, but yeah, would definitely recommend this game if you haven't played it yet. According to PlayStation, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart took me 13 hours. Next is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Definitely one of my favorite Star Wars games ever. Been a while since we've gotten a good one, so I was really happy when this came out. I think I did all the achievements on Xbox and PC, and then I was like, the PS5 version came out, I was like, well, might as well do this. Only thing that was kind of annoying about this was like finding every collectible and then get the plants and then gotta wait for them to grow, and yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that was difficult, but everything else is kind of straightforward, other than like the map. The map in this game kind of sucks. I definitely got lost a couple times trying to find where the way out was, but still really a great game if you haven't played. If you're a Star Wars fan, you absolutely should play this if you haven't already. According to PlayStation, Fallen Order took me 11 hours. Next is Tsushima again, the PS5 version. I did not do an auto pop. I just straight up played it again. I did the DLC this time, so not really a ton to talk about, but DLC was really good. I enjoyed it. Did everything here. I don't know if I'll ever go back and do the multiplayer stuff. Probably won't, but overall, still a fantastic game if you haven't played it. According to PlayStation, Ghost of Tsushima on the PS5 took me 43 hours. Skyrim, again, the PS5 version, I told you I'm part of the problem. Just focused on the main stuff, didn't do any DLC. DLCs, I may eventually go back and do it, just because it's Skyrim. But yeah, again, not really much else to talk about for that. According to PlayStation, the PS5 version of Skyrim took me 29 hours. Next is Kena Bridge of Spirits. I really love this game. Basically a Souls-like. I have never played a Souls game or Souls-like up to this point, so when I played this on Master difficulty, it definitely whooped me around a few times, but eventually I did get it. I believe when the game first came out, there was a bug where you could just play it on easy, and you would get the Master difficulty trophy. I did not do that, because I believe it was patched at the time. I don't even know how to do the glitch from memory, but I believe it got patched when I picked it up again, because I played it and then I put it down and then I picked it up again and finished it. But still, really great game. The art style's amazing, combat's good, story's kind of interesting, although at least I remember at the time it was pretty interesting. I don't really remember anything now. Nothing that stuck with me, but still fantastic game. If you have not played this yet, you absolutely should. According to PlayStation, Kena Bridge of Spirits took me 26 hours. Next is Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I grew up with the Lego games back on the PS2, and eventually when the Complete Saga came out, yeah, Complete Saga is what it's called. When that came out, I just loved that game, and of course this brought me back to that. They jam-packed a ton of content in this. The main story levels aren't too long, which kind of sucks. I feel like that should have been a little longer, but they definitely spent a lot more time in the open world. Ton of collectibles to get, characters, crazy amount of characters to get, but I had a ton of fun with this game. So, if you love the Lego games, you'll probably like this. According to PlayStation, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga took me 56 hours. Crazy Chicken Shooter bundle. I think this game was like $10, and I was like, sure, I'll pick this up. Why not? This game is not good. It's some weird like arcade shooter where you just shoot chickens. It's overall pretty easy. You can probably get this plot in like an hour or two, but the only difficult one, that's not even really difficult, just shoot 6,009 chickens. Just do that over and over again until you get it. But yeah, overall pretty easy. So if you want easy platinum, this game's probably super cheap, so you can probably do it. According to PlayStation, Crazy Chicken Shooter took me 1 hour. Up next is Ghostrunner. This game was a ton of fun. I did not know what to expect when I played this game, and I went into this knowing nothing about it, and I absolutely loved it. I would 100% recommend it. I know the sequel just came out, so I'll definitely have to do that at some point. But yeah, really love this game. I think I forget which one was the most, I think it was this one. Kill 23 enemies in a row without dying. Or there was another one that might have been hard. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it. A lot harder than I would have thought. Because you could just replay the first level twice. I believe that's what was recommended. Just play through the first level twice. Even though I went through the entire main mission and did all that. But yeah, can be pretty difficult. But once you get in a good rhythm, it is a ton of fun. 100% recommend it. Didn't do the DLC. According to PlayStation, Ghostrunner took me 9 hours. Horizon Forbidden West, I did not do the DLC or New Game Plus. Didn't really enjoy this game. I know people were pretty split on this. Definitely on the side of the fence where people didn't enjoy it. Overall, just one thing that was good, it didn't feel like it was too much bloat, but overall, I didn't really care about the story. Combat was good, and that's really what mattered to me, but I feel like you didn't spend enough time fighting the dinosaurs in the main story, or maybe, I don't know, it's been a while since I played it. Overall, I didn't really enjoy it, but it was still pretty straightforward, nothing too difficult. Collectibles, play through the story and all that stuff, so yeah. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it, but I could see, why a lot of people would play it. According to PlayStation, Horizon Forbidden West took me 28 hours. Up next is Stray. I really like this game. This game is a lot of fun. Not too long. Could probably get the platinum like less than 8 hours. One difficulty was this one, or was it? No, not Pathless. What level was it? Okay, I got it pretty early on actually. Yeah, Can't Catch Me, where you just have to go through this area without getting hit. Took me a couple tries, but I just did it right when I got to that point in the game, because I didn't want to spend too much time later. Yeah, I'd recommend it if you don't have it. 100% get it. According to PlayStation, Stray took me 10 hours. Destroy All Humans 2. I like these games growing up, so I definitely had to get the remasters. I did the first game on Xbox, so that's why it's not on here, but I did the second one here. Super over the top, just goofy, fun. Yeah, nothing, I don't think there's anything too difficult about it, just collectibles and just play through the game basically. Nothing. I think the skate things were kind of annoying, I think. That definitely pissed me off a little bit, was the skate stuff, but other than that, I didn't think it was too difficult. But if you haven't played this franchise, I'd 100% recommend it. According to PlayStation, Destroy All Humans 2 took me 20 hours. Next is Ratchet and Clank, the reimagining of the first game. I think it was supposed to be what, reimagining kind of like to the movie? I believe that's what it was. Personally, I thought this game was way better than the Rift Apart. It's also a little bit longer, which is nice, but yeah, I don't think there was anything too difficult about the game, from what I remember. I think you just had to play it again on New Game Plus and get to every weapon to max level, and I think you had to do New Game Plus to do that too, from what I remember. It's been a while since I played it, but yeah, overall not too difficult. I thought it was pretty straightforward for the most part. Yeah, 100% recommend it. According to PlayStation, Ratchet and Clank took me 19 hours. Zorro The Chronicles. I would say this game is basically Assassin's Creed if it was made for 2-year-olds only. I don't know why I bought this game. I think it was like $10 on GameStop's website. Complete the game on hard was actually very easy. Only one enemy at a time can attack you. I think the final boss fight was kind of annoying because he's like doing stuff and you got a bunch of enemies coming at you at the same time trying to hit you. So you're just trying to kite them while going after the main guy. And it's a really small arena, so yeah, that was pretty annoying. I think this was the one trophy that was kind of I'll spare you guys and won't let you listen to that, but his like ultimate, you had to pretty much gather a bunch of guys and he does this like, I don't know, this move that knocks everyone out, but sometimes it just wouldn't do 6. It would just do like 4 or 5, so it was kind of weird. It's kind of RNG-ish, but overall, super easy game. You can probably do this in like a day. It won't take you too long. If you do decide to pick this up, I don't recommend it though. According to PlayStation, Zorro The Chronicles took me 6 hours. Up next is Elden Ring, my very first Souls game, and I love this game. This game was incredible. I remember when I first played it, I was super intimidated by it, but eventually I did stick through it, and yeah, I just loved everything about this game. The exploration is probably the best I've ever played in an open world game. The bosses were all amazing. For the most part, it's pretty straightforward, other than just like finding all the legendary talismans and sorceries and weapons and summons. But other than that, just play through the game, beat all the main bosses and some of the other side bosses and some of the random games somewhere. But yeah, overall great game. I did do the cheese for the endings, but I have played this game multiple times on PC. According to PlayStation, Elden Ring took me 45 hours, although I did lose about 10 hours of progress because of a glitch, but we don't worry about that. Up next is God of War Ragnarok. Overall story is really good. Absolutely hated the collectibles in this game. There was way too many. Definitely the worst part about this game. So if you are going to go for the platinum, buckle up for the collectibles. It's a pain in the ass, but overall, it's still a great game. If you have a PS5, this is 100% a must-own. According to PlayStation, God of War Ragnarok took me 19 hours. Up next is Hogwarts Legacy. Again, with the collectibles, there is an absurd amount. I think it's like 600 or something ridiculous like that. It's just way too much, but visually the game is incredible. I thought the gameplay was fun, the story was good. I actually liked the side quests probably more than the main story. I thought some of them were really fleshed out, and I really enjoyed that. The only thing that was kind of annoying was you had to basically start 4 different playthroughs and get to the map chamber room, which is like an hour, 45 minutes, 2 hours in, something like that. So that was kind of annoying to have to do that, but overall nothing too crazy, right? But 100% if you love Harry Potter. I don't even really like Harry Potter that much, but I thought the game was great. So if you don't even like Harry Potter, you still might enjoy this. According to PlayStation, Hogwarts Legacy took me 50 hours. Next is Guardians of the Galaxy. Really good story. Gameplay was kind of hit and miss. I definitely will hit with some, definitely not for others, but overall I still thought it was a great game. The only thing that was annoying about this game was the collectibles. If you have to do it all in one go, if you don't, you cannot do chapter select. It just like won't work for some reason. So you have to play through the game again. I had to play through the game again, which sucked. But still a good game. I'd recommend it. But if you are going to go for the platinum, I would 100% recommend you have a guide open for all the collectibles so you don't have to play through it a second time. According to PlayStation, Guardians of the Galaxy took me 22 hours. Next is Jedi Survivor. Really enjoy this game. They definitely fixed some stuff from the original game. The only thing that sucked is when I played it, there was a lot of frame drop issues that I think are patched now, but I got this and played it when it came out, so that was kind of annoying. I do remember this was bugged to purchase all the items in Doma's shop. I believe one of the currency, I forget what it's called, but the currency you needed, like one of them wouldn't spawn for some reason, but I just kind of ignored that and just kept playing the game, and eventually it got fixed. So it was pretty natural for me. Again, if you're a Star Wars fan, you'll probably love it. I don't think there was as many collectibles as the first game, so that's good. Or maybe there was. It's been a minute since I played both of them, but still, really good game. Love the story, love the combat and all that stuff. Just the frame issues were kind of annoying when I played it, but still a great game, 100% recommend. According to PlayStation, Star Wars Jedi Survivor took me 33 hours. Next is Chivalry 2, a basically Battlefield, but medieval is, I think, a great way to describe it. The platinum is honestly pretty easy, just super grindy, especially when it comes to this right here, win 25 times in these 4 maps. Eventually since when I played it and went for these, they added more maps. So if you try to do it online, you had to find a lobby that had one of these maps, and then you had to hope your team won. You could flip-flop sides, but if the game was full, then you couldn't do it. So the best way to do it, or the most consistent way to do it, was just to do an offline and just play defense for like 10 minutes or something. So that was kind of annoying, but overall it's pretty straightforward, but still a really fun game. If you just want to play a really fun multiplayer game, I'd recommend it. According to PlayStation, Chivalry 2 took me 24 hours. Next is Pathless, indie game. I can't remember who made it, but I forgot who they made. Something else that I think I played from. I can't remember off the top of my head, but really fun game. Pretty short, but still really enjoyed it. You like shoot these targets to keep your momentum, and you can sprint for a while. There was a few collectibles, but it wasn't anything too crazy. For the most part, I think it's pretty straightforward. You could probably finish this in like a day. But yeah, I'd recommend it. According to PlayStation, the Pathless took me 11 hours. Next is the Spyro Trilogy. All 3 of these games are pretty straightforward, super easy to get. I think Spyro 2, there was one that was kind of frustrating. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was, I can't believe it was this one that was kind of annoying to me. It's like I would miss one spider because like the controls were really stiff, so it was kind of hard to get them all in one go sometimes, but eventually you get it. But yeah, they're all really easy. You can probably, I mean, you could probably do them all in like 24 hours, but yeah, I definitely didn't do them all like that. I think I would just do like, I think one a day. I think I did this in one day, and then I did this like through a week. Just like play it for a few hours, put it down, and I think I might have did this in one day. I can't remember. But yeah, still, if you love the original games when you were a kid, you probably love the remasters. They look amazing. According to PlayStation, all the Spyro games took me 29 hours. Up next is Hua. Some indie game, side scroller, super easy to do. You could do it in like 2 hours. There's some things you gotta look out for, like getting kicked by robots 10 times. That probably might not happen naturally, maybe it will, but for the most part, everything's pretty straightforward. Just play through the game. Some few miscellaneous stuff, but no real collectibles, I don't think. But yeah, overall pretty easy game, but visually looks good, the music is good, so I'd recommend it. It's pretty cheap, I think. According to PlayStation, Hua took me 2 hours. Up next is the Uncharted Trilogy, the Remastered. I did not do the DLC trophies where you had to beat it on Brutal. No, I'm not doing fuck that. I'm not doing that. That is ridiculously hard, but overall, really just amazing games. It's got your speedrun trophies and your weapon trophies, and then finding all the treasures and stuff, so maybe you'll need a guide for the treasures. I would probably say you will, and then you just gotta grind a few spots for the weapon trophies, or at least for some of them, but it's just an iconic series. Really hope they bring a new Uncharted soon. Because what, it's been... God, when did Lost Legacy come out? I can't even remember. But yeah, really great games, 100% recommend them. According to PlayStation, the Uncharted Trilogy took me 40 hours. Speaking of which, Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy, the Remastered, I guess you could call it, or Legacy of Thieves collection. Unfortunately, only one platinum, but you do have to play both games to get it. But I really love both these games. Uncharted 4 is without a doubt the best ever made out of the series. The only thing that kind of sucked was the collectibles. There was just an absurd amount. Did not like that, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. For everything else, some miscellaneous stuff, and Lost Legacy, not as many collectibles thankfully, but still a good amount of miscellaneous stuff, but also a really good game. I really like Lost Legacy. 100% recommend both these games. According to PlayStation, Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy took me 35 hours. Life is Strange, one of these like Telltale type games, although it's not made by that studio, but overall pretty straightforward. Just play through the game. There are a few collectibles you gotta look out for, but pretty simple. You could probably do it in like 7-8 hours. I didn't really care for it though, to be honest. According to PlayStation, Life is Strange True Colors took me 7 hours. Next is Crash Team Rumble, the multiplayer only game. I thought it was pretty fun. Just kind of sucks it's only one game mode, at least at the time when I played it. I don't know if they've added anything else, but I feel like they probably didn't. It was only like $30, I think, when it came out. Overall, everything's pretty straightforward. You just gotta play the game, win a game's every single character, and then you gotta like do a certain move as every single character in a single game. Not with every character in a single game, but you know what I mean. Do a move with a specific character in a game. I think the only thing that was kind of annoying was reaching the level cap from what I remember. It took a while. I did it without a double XP weekend, and it was super grindy. I mean, yeah, it took... So, after this trophy, it was 3 days of just grinding this trophy. So yeah, that was kind of annoying, but I still thought it was pretty fun. According to PlayStation, Crash Team Rumble took me 23 hours. Next is Road 96. I had no expectation for this game. I just bought it on a whim on GameStop's website, but really fun game. There's a lot of choices you get to make. You're in like this made-up country, and yeah, it's crazy. But you play through a bunch of different perspectives. It's kids trying to like escape, trying to cross the border. Really weird, but really fun at the same time. A few collectibles, or the only collectible is getting these tapes. I didn't even have to look up a guide for this. I found all these pretty easily. But there were some like miscellaneous stuff you probably want to look out for. But overall, I thought it was a really good game. I'd recommend it. According to PlayStation, Road 96 took me 7 hours. Next is Spider-Man 2. I don't think I enjoyed this as much as the first two games, but overall, it was pretty fun. The only thing that sucked was I thought was the side missions. I did not think the side missions were any good. But the main story was good, and that is what matters the most. Is that at least the story was really good and the combat was fun. It did not overstay its welcome. Thankfully, you could do this in like what, in 20 hours, something like that. So definitely doesn't feel like it takes too long. The one thing that sucks is the suits don't really have any abilities. I believe the first game had it, but for some reason they didn't do it in this game, so that was kind of weird, but overall, really good game. 100% recommend it if you haven't bought it yet. We definitely recommend getting it. According to PlayStation, Marvel Spider-Man 2 took me 22 hours. And then my most recent platinum, God of War. I've been on and off with this game for like a year or so. And I first started, played it like for like an hour, then quit playing, and then I picked it up again, played through the main story, put it down again, and then I picked it up again, and just all I had to do was get all the rest of the collectibles, do the trials, and then beat the rest of the Valkyries. I think I had like 7 left or something. I think the final Valkyrie took me like 5 tries, so not too bad, but overall, most of it's pretty straightforward, just a lot of collectibles, which is kind of annoying. I don't think it's as many as Ragnarok, which is good, but still just a really absurd amount. So hopefully for God of War 3, they don't put a ton of collectibles, but they probably will. Still a great game though, 100% recommend it if you haven't played it yet. According to PlayStation, God of War took me 32 hours. And that is my most recent platinum out of 45. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. You should tell me what your favorite platinum is in the comments. Yeah, I've been getting back into trophy hunting recently. I do have a bunch of games that I have not finished. Some are on Vita, so on the PlayStation Vita I may not go back and do them, but I do want to do some stuff on like the PS3 and of course some PS4 games that I missed out on, and of course new releases as they come. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.